This is my Chicago Fan Expo comic book haul / celebrity encounter. Yeah, that's right. This is going to be a little bit different than the other videos. Pepper's here. She went with me to the Chicago Fan Expo. And we're not only going to show you all the great comic books I got, but we're also going to talk about the panels we went to, the comic book convention floor, and also the celebrity encounters we had at our hotel. So stick around, hold on to your Mjolnirs. It's about to get nerdy in here.
Nerd, nerd, nerd. Nerdfarious.
I'm Stark.
I'm Pepper.
And we went to the Chicago Fan Expo and had an awesome time. And we're going to tell you about it. One of the things we did was we went to the different panels that they have at Chicago Fan Expo. And if you've never done this, I really suggest you do go to one of these panels because it's a great experience. This was the first time you'd gone to one of those panels. What did you think?
I really enjoyed it. There was a variety of actors to see, and the Chicago Fan Expo did an excellent job in lining people up, getting people in early to get a seat, not have to stand there in the hallway. Excellent logistics in that.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. Usually what happens is once you get inside, you get your seat. And it doesn't matter if you're at the front or if you're at the back, you're going to get a good view because they have screens up, and it's a great opportunity for the interviewer to ask questions, and you get to, unscripted find out what the different stars that in the shows that you like, their response. But really what's a lot of fun is when they take questions from the audience. Usually the questions are can be pretty revealing, pretty odd, and it's always fun to see how the celebrity or actor reacts. So we went to see Marissa Tomei. Mm-hmm. What did you think of that?
So I was really excited for this panel because she is one of the main actresses in one of my favorite movies called Oscar, which is an old Sylvester Stallone movie from 1991 that most people have never heard of, but it's an awesome comedy, so watch it. And she just was so fun and cute in that movie, and so I was curious to see if she would mention it in anything, which she did, and that was amazing, and I was super excited about that. And she was wonderful, but unfortunately, she had a really bad interviewer. He was just awkward and asked questions that like a news channel would ask, not a get to know Marissa Tomei sort of interview. But
one of the problems with the interview, not only the interviewer, was he never opened it up to the audience to ask questions. If the audience members in the actual group, waiting to, listen to this celebrity, chances are they're a fan and they probably have some good questions, and they never got a chance to do that. But Marissa Tomei was, if you're a fan of her from Amazing Spider-Man, she's pretty in real life. She was also, I know her best from My Cousin Vinny, and then, of course, Oscar, because my wife subjected me to that.
And I will again.
Oh, good. I would say not something that the male persuasion would want to watch, but okay.
It's Sylvester Stallone. How can you not love him?
It's not Sylvester Stallone as you know him. It's a whole different.
It's the only comedy he's ever done where it was purely comedic, no action, and he was amazing.
He did okay at it.
Oh, he did.
Not my type of movie.
He was super great. We could just have a whole episode on that. But you've only seen it once. And you were so distracted.
Sometimes after one time, this isn't for you.
You were so distracted by the bags, you could not enjoy the movie and the great lines.
Yes.
Yes. We'll agree to disagree.
Then we also saw Alan Tudyk And let me tell you, this guy is hilarious to see in person. He's just so funny. He has these quips that he said. And then when they opened up to the audience, that was a whole new area of funny because...
and genuine.
Yeah.
It just seemed a very natural and genuine kind of guy.
Because when the people would ask a question, he then had his bag of, I think he referred to a bag of crap.
Yeah, I think so.
And he would give somebody something out of his bag of crap, which was hilarious because it was just a bag of random stuff. And he literally gave out wallpaper samples that were not used in whatever remodeling he was doing. And he signed them and gave them to people. There were other couple items that were kind of funny that he gave away.
A protein bar that he didn't like and only took one bite out of.
Yeah.
He signed that and gave it away.
Yeah. He had a bag of peanuts with one peanut left inside it, and he signed the bag and gave that to a person to ask questions.
He said he normally gives out like sheets from scripts that he's, have already been produced and are out, but he couldn't find them before he left apparently. So he was the wallpaper samples were just a handy thing to grab as he went out the door. It's memorable.
Yeah.
You got to give him that. It was super memorable.
He was awesome. And then later we went and saw Gina Carano.
For Miss Gina Carano!
But you've seen her as in the not WWF, in the Ultimate Fighting MMA fights back in the day. And then she broke into films, and she last was on the Boba Fett. The Mandalorian. Getting my Star Wars confused. On The Mandalorian, of course, everybody knows about the Disney basically canceling her career. However, it doesn't seem to have affected her. She's got in high spirits now. Yeah,
she was really open and honest, and she too was super genuine. And the interviewer or moderator or whatever you want to call him, he was really clear about, hey, let's make sure we don't ask questions that are controversial or going to get anything started. And people were really good about that. But she was just super honest about how the last few years have been for her and how it's really been a journey. And her spirit is totally undaunted, and she's doing some things and really excited about her future. And she's just super cute. I just wanted to be friends. She was really sweet.
And so we saw those three, but there were lots of different celebrities there that we didn't get a chance to see but you could spend the whole day just going to these panels, and having a good time. So outside the panels, we also went down on the convention floor. I was there hunting for comic books. I'm going to show you some of those comic books after we get done talking here. A little disappointed on the convention floor, and I've got a couple reasons. One, it was like there was no air conditioning in that place.
It was warm.
It was hot. I swear, I thought I was on fire. And I know, okay, that's a little over dramatic.
It was for
hot.
him, he was really uncomfortable. I was warm, and it felt like there was a lack of airflow.
And the thing was, it was not hot outside. So why did it feel like an inferno inside? I don't know.
A lot of people.
Yeah. So there was that. And the crowds, it was really, really crowded. It was hard to get up and down the aisles. But lastly, the thing that bothered me was it was hard to find a comic book deal. I only found one guy that was doing any kind of deals. Everybody else, their prices were, the comic book market's down right now, and they had comic book prices for filler issues from $2 to $4. Now look, if this isn't a key issue, I'm not spending anywhere from $2, $3, or $4 for a filler issue, a non-key issue. That's ridiculous. You can go somewhere and find those for $1, maybe even 50 cents, $2 max. So I was a little disappointed. I couldn't find books. I didn't want to buy really expensive books at this. I was wanting to buy some books to finish off my runs, and here I wasn't able to do that. There weren't the deals that were there last year. But I did find one guy who had some really good books that the prices were a little higher than fair market value, but then with the 50% off, you were getting a great deal. And I'll show you those books in a bit. So anyway, besides the panel and the convention floor, we also had some celebrity encounters at our hotel.
Yeah, that was fun and unexpected.
Yeah. The hotel I stay at usually doesn't have any stars staying there. So when we first walked in, I noticed there were like 6 or 7 luxury SUVs parked out front. And I said to Pepper, I wonder what's going on here. Kind of as I was walking in, recognized a guy sitting there, didn't realize for sure who it was. We got our room, of course, and then went to the convention. Then we came back, saw that same guy sitting out front. When we got up to the room, I realized it was Newman from Seinfeld. He'd grown a beard, and that was kind of throwing me off. I think he lost a little weight, too. And then later I went down to get some pizza. So then I saw the guy who played, I think, Jackie Childs. He was doing a funny Seinfeld interpretation of Johnny Cochran. Anyway, he was there. I think his name's Phil Morris. He was standing next to me talking to another guy. And anyway, I was like, wow. And so then I saw a couple other people, and I was like, came back upstairs at the pizza and told Pepper, I said, I think this is the hotel they're all staying at. So we decided later to go down to the bar area. Of course, it was interesting was that the hotel had been closed to where it was only 50% guests, because they were trying to keep the amount of people down because all the stars were staying at this hotel. We found that out from the bartender because he couldn't understand how I was able to get a room.
And it explained why it wasn't very crowded for being within walking distance of the convention center.
Yeah.
And we had seen so many people that he recognized. Now I was like, that guy looks familiar. Yeah. So that was a big surprise.
Yeah. We went downstairs to have a drink at the bar. We were in our fancy outfits. We dressed up a little bit.
We dressed up a little bit, yeah.
Okay. It wasn't fancy, but we dressed up a little bit.
For us, it was fancy.
We sit down, and I'm sitting, it's me, Pepper, and then next to her is a lady, and then on the other side was the soup Nazi guy from Seinfeld. Because at Chicago Fan Expo, they were having Patrick Warburton, all the Seinfeld minor characters were there to sign autographs and do photos. So anyway, I saw he was sitting there eating a steak taco, which looked really good.
Smelled really good too.
Yeah. And as we're sitting there, this bar behind us was the lobby, and we saw Matthew Lillard walk through, who had been on Scooby-Doo and some stuff. 13 Ghosts, I think, was the other show. And then your favorite.
Yeah, Adam Savage walked in, and I was like, what? Yeah, that was super exciting. We missed his panel because it was on Friday. He was just standing in the lobby talking to somebody. I don't know who it was. And so I got like one of those over-the-shoulder pictures to send to my daughter because she loves Adam Savage. And
yeah.
That was pretty
He's
cool.
from Mythbusters, and I guess he has his own YouTube channel.
Yeah,
as well.
he does.
It was just us at the bar at that point, and who walks in but Linda Hamilton from Terminator 2. And
who I even recognized.
Yeah.
Which is saying something.
But I had to tell her anyway. I was like, did you know who that is? That's Linda Hamilton.
I didn't remember her name. Yeah. I'm so sorry because I'm just bad at that.
Yeah. So then I kind of leaned over like this because she was on the other side. And I said, hey, I love your work. I love the stuff you're in. And she was so friendly. She just started talking about how much she enjoys her work and the stuff she does. And
Yeah, I was kind of awkward, and I just said something like, "You should love what you do," because what do you say? I don't know.
So, yeah. And then she kind of looked like she was looking for something.
Yeah, like the bartender kind of went missing. We didn't. So obviously she needed to order something.
I gave her the menu. I said, well, I didn't tell her it was a soup Nazi guy eating the steak tacos, but I said the guy next to us was.
That had been weird to say.
Yeah, I know. So I just said the guy next to us was having these steak tacos. They looked really good. And she's like, oh, okay, She ended up ordering a quesadilla, though.
Solid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she ended up leaving, but then she came back later to pick up her food.
Yep.
And she, said, you guys have a good night. It was nice talking to you, something like to that effect.
Mm-hmm. And then as she was walking away, she said I was beautiful, and I was like,
yeah.
So I said, you are too, and that was that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, honestly, she was so nice and
very sweet,
easy to talk to. I mean, really, really great experience. Just as an impromptu running into somebody, she was really. She didn't have to be like that. I'm sure she'd spent all day talking with fans, and also I know she had the Terminator 2 panel she was on, so she probably had a really busy day. So if it was me, I probably would have been like, hey, get away from me. I don't want to talk.
You definitely would have been like that.
Yeah. So it was nice that she wasn't like me. But anyway, so the next morning we were like, well, we're probably going to see some of these people at breakfast.
I think just about everybody we saw in the dining area was a celebrity or with a celebrity, with the exception of one couple.
The person that was the robot cop in Terminator 2. And we got to listen to him talk to this individual because our table was nearby. If you're curious, when he went in, he ordered an omelet with everything on it.
Vegetables even.
Yeah. And then sat down to eat. And then later, I'm probably going to butcher his name, but Tamura Morrison, who played Boba Fett in the Book of Boba Fett, came in. He walked by Robert Patrick. Robert Patrick said, hey. But this Tamura Morrison was kind of, early in the morning. He was just kind of focused. He just was like, hey. And then walked over, went to the buffet. And so as we were walking out, I was trying to decide who was I going to bother, the Boba Fett guy or the Terminator 2 guy. So I decided I'll bother the Terminator 2 guy. But when I got over there as we were passing by his table, before I got a chance to say anything, not only was he eating, but he was also on the cell phone. So I was like, well, I'm not going to be that guy and interrupt him while he's eating and talking on the phone. So that was that. Would
have been bad enough if he was just eating, but
yeah,
Now,
don't turn off. I know some of you people get real bored with the comic book hall stuff. Like her family, maybe.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah. But stick around. I did get some good comic books, and I'm about to show you right now. So let's get into it. Let's start off with a great issue. This is Master of Kung Fu number 21 from 1974. Now, I love Shang-Chi, or as they said in the movie, Shang-Chi, whatever. I only need 4 more issues to complete this run. And as I said earlier, there was one dealer that was giving 50% off his books. This is one of those that I got for 50% off. So I got it for $20, and the condition is, I'm telling you, it's 9.0 or better. And it just looks incredible. I'm glad to get it. Here we have Master of Kung Fu number 23. I also got this one half off for $15. And I agree with what they've got there. Very, very fine near mint condition. I'm so jazzed to get this book. Now, I'm still working on my Iron Man collection, and I got a bunch. There's a lot of books that I'm not showing you that I picked up that are, filler issues. So just kind of the really nice ones I thought I'd show. This is Iron Man Annual number 4 from 1977. The comic is in very fine condition. I did pay full price for it, and it's not a key issue. Everybody who collects comics knows you've got those books that you keep going to these different Comic Cons, different flea markets, different comic book stores, and you just try and find that elusive book that's not even a key book. And eventually you find it and you go, you know what? I'm just going to pay it, because what else are you going to do if you want to complete your series? Yeah, it's an addiction. I know it is an addiction, especially if you're a completist. Okay, and here we have Iron Man number 110. I paid full price for this as well. The condition is probably a 7.5, maybe an 8.0. It's kind of a cool color cover, though. I like the alien guys in this story. It was pretty good. Now, you all know this because this is a key issue. It's the first appearance of Justin Hammer. Plus, it's an awesome cover. Submariner versus Iron Man on the cover. Just really sharp. If you watched one of our unboxing videos in the past, you'll have seen a book just like this that I picked up for $5 at the Indiana Comic Con, had it pressed and graded, and it came back as a 9.8. That book is valued at $400 as a CGC 9.8. So it was a great score. Now this book, I grabbed this one to keep raw and read. You know, if you've got a CGC book slabbed, you can't read it. So I wanted a version I could read. I would say the label is correct on this. This is a fine plus. But the nice thing was I got it for $15. So I'm okay with that. And here we've got a key issue, Iron Man 126. It's part 7 of the Demon in the Bottle story. And you'll recognize that in our studio, the big Iron Man painting that is on my back wall comes from this cover. It is an exact duplicate of this cover. And I think it is just an awesome cover. I got this book for $20. This is one of the half-off books. But I'm a little disappointed in the condition. I mean, it said there, very fine, near mint. And it's always hard to grade condition at a Comic-Con because it never fails. The lighting is horrible. Anyway, when I got it home, I noticed that there are 2 spine corners that have some wear. So this is no way near mint like it is labeled. And I would probably give it an 8.5 at best, because those 2 corners are scuffed. It might even be an 8.0. But, you know, I got it for $20. I like the book. I'm not disappointed in that, but I was really hoping to get a good one to send in to get graded. And here we have Iron Man 137. This is not a key issue, but I needed it for my collection, so I picked it up. And same for this Iron Man 147. Not a key issue, just needed it. Now, check out this bad boy right here. I'm talking about Iron Man 170. This is a key issue because it's the first appearance of James Rhodes, also known as Rhodey, as Iron Man. Now, this book was marked, and one of the half-off books I got was marked at $70. I got it for $35, which is high. It's a little bit high for a raw copy. But this book is immaculate and a newsstand edition. There are no spine ticks or blunted corners. It is perfect. I plan on getting this pressed and sending it into CGC for grading, and it should come back as a 9.8. I'll be really disappointed if it doesn't. And here we have Iron Man 196. It's not a key issue, but I did need it. You're going to see that I didn't get just all Iron Man. There are some more different books in here, but we're just getting through the Iron Man right now. Just a filler book, but I was able to get it and like it. And this is the same for Iron Man 210. It was interesting that Happy Hogan makes an appearance in this issue. If you read Iron Man, Happy Hogan is in a lot of the first Iron Man books, but eventually they kind of peter out using him, mainly focus on Pepper Potts here and there. So seeing Happy Hogan back was really kind of neat. And here's Iron Man 211, not a key issue. Now we're into some Detective Comics. And I gotta tell you, I love Detective Comics. I'm a little disappointed in the new Detective Comics. Not that the storylines are bad, but there's just not really any ground-breaking key appearances in Detective Comics anymore. But in the older books, there were a ton. There were always key appearances, interesting story arcs that affected a character's origin. And this here book, Detective Comics 356 from 1966, does exactly that. First full appearance and origin of the Outsiders. And what's interesting is it is revealed in the story that the Outsider is actually Alfred the butler after his death and resurrection. Yeah, it's crazy. So this is actually the Outsider here, and he's actually Alfred after being resurrected. He comes back in this form. I tell you, it's an interesting book. I got this for $18. A high grade raw goes for $175. This one is not high grade. It's in pretty good condition, except for this lower staple. You can see the staple is torn through the cover. I'm not sure what the grade for this would be. Overall, it is a great story, and I'm okay with the lower grade copy. I doubt I'd pay $175 for this book, but $18, not too bad. And here we have Detective Comics 378. And let me tell you, this book is a doozy. I got this for $15. It's not a key issue. But like the last book, top staple here on this one has been pulled through the cover. It's an excellent story. Robin is basically tired of Batman calling all the shots and leaves home at 14 years old. He gets mixed up with another 14-year-old who is the son of a mob boss. And using Robin as bait, the bad 14-year-old and his father try to lure out Batman and kill him, trying to kill him with a sniper. The only downside of this book is that it ends on a cliffhanger. So now I have to find issue 379 to find out what happens. It is an interesting story. Detective Comics 440. Now, this is a 100-page comic, and I normally love these big books. However, this one reprints Detective issue 356, which you just saw. The one with Alfred and the Outsider. Yeah, so I basically bought the same comic book twice. On the plus side, this had a lot of great stories in it other than the Alfred Outsider. So I still got a lot of stories in it, and I did buy it for only $14. And the book does show some wear, but that's okay. It was a really great read, and I enjoyed it. This is my last book, Batman 610 from 2003. It's not a key issue, and it normally goes for around $7 raw. I got it for $10, which is high. But I have been looking for this book for a while. I am glad to get it in my collection. It is a high grade comic, and I'm just pleased. I'm pleased with the buys. But like I said earlier, the Chicago Fan Expo, finding a good deal was really hard to find. I don't know if it's because they raised booth space prices and dealers couldn't have the flexibility with their profit margins, but overall, it was really difficult. I mean, you were searching, and I came back with some great books, but in the past, I've spent a lot more money because there were a lot more deals and good books offered. This year, I only spent probably half what I normally do. So anyway, that's the comic book portion, and I hope you enjoyed our review earlier. Hey, thanks for watching. We had a great time making this video. We love going to Comic-Cons. We love showing you the stuff we get, talking about comic books. I mean, I guess I live a pretty boring life because that's all I really like to talk about. And my wife, unfortunately, has to hear it. So this is an avenue where I get to talk to people that also like these things, that appreciate them, the finer things in life. So if you like it, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and we'll see you next time.